Alright, good morning, good day. This is the African Crypto Warlord. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while since I have done a Bitcoin analysis, but we only do it at relevant times. If you'd like to see me scalping Bitcoin live, I'm usually doing it daily, and it'll be about an hour and a half to maybe 2.5 hours worth of scalping before I get banned. It's 100 trades. Free on KCEX, I only get 100 trades, and my goal is to try and make 1% a day in that. And I've had to really refine my strategy because I usually do 1,000 odd trades, 800 trades in a day to push more than 2 to 3%. So now I'm battling a new challenge. So we'll start off small, and as we say, we're only going to do these analyses once shit is important. Today, there will be some intraday ranges. So, for example, hold above here on 66,960 on Binance. You do want to try retrace into 67,915. That target's only technically trying to validate itself with regards to statistically significant probabilities tomorrow in the morning for me. So let's just call that like 15 hours away-ish, I think. All right, but the target is there. This cone is starting to slope up. Any failures on outside of this cone over here, as it can keep on grinding down. So let's just call it from 66,700 to 66,600. I do look for a touchdown here at 66,305. Furthermore, down here at 65,930, and that is -1 on the new weekly print. This is new weekly mean. Hold above here, pretty cool. Stuff gets a little bit more bullish. Start closing below here, stuff gets a little bit more bearish. All right. Given same other side, hold above this weekly mean. Yes, you're going to charge for the untouched daily VRE at 67,907. Back up into here at 68,006. Furthermore, target over here quantifying itself at 68,160. Mean on this cone to give you a wick in, a little higher over pushes into this previous structure in the top here, and you'll be looking at about 68,417, which would sort of start to match up to this Laplace distribution line over here at about the same time that it would get there. Okay, so those are the intraday targets done. Now let's do some highly significant higher term time frame nonsense. Okay, now I don't know if people even use the 90-day, but I mean the last thing you want to be wrong on is when it's green here on the RO. When it's red, it's red. Okay, now I do have other data here. You hold above these reverse wave tendencies, these orange ones. It can help try set in a bull div play on this mean. Sorry for the airplanes and this fucking cicadas. Okay, this airplane's more than likely coming over the house. Let's just throw some ultimate power means on before I get into very important stuff, because I want this airplane to go away so that I can show you significant probabilities. I haven't seen an aircraft like that before. Right over the house. Perfect timing, you fucking asshole. Okay, let's get into it. Now, what can we see? We can see reverse wave tendencies, ultimate power means. This ultimate power mean, as long as Bitcoin starts closing below, this 90-day starts closing below 67,963. I do technically look for continuation to the downside, as that helps put in this hidden bear div that's coming in on a mean reversion. Now let's keep this simple, stupid, and you guys tell me what the fuck is actually happening if you don't have these tools. Okay? Moral of the story, we see these green flashes. It doesn't mean buy, it doesn't mean sell. It just means start looking for a trade. Okay, on any time frame. What did we see here? We had a whole bunch of green flashes back here in January 15th to April to June. January, so just call it half each month, all right? So it's January, April, and June. That was 3 months worth of flashes, and price of Bitcoin was at 234. Volatility needs to expand, and the direction set up, okay? And it carried on going up, And what do you see here? Again, flashes in volatility. This time it was at least for about 190-day period. Volatility flashed, Bitcoin went up. Okay, what happened here? Now this is in January 2020 when a lot of people that are more than likely watching this got in. 2 Bitcoin was in this region here. 2020 it went up. Now what happened in December of 2021? All right, green flashes, it went down. Okay, what's the moral of the story? Green flashes, it goes up. So what do you guys think that these 90-day green flashes are trying to tell you? If Bitcoins only had 2 flashes and it was below 10 grand, that actually went up, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 flashes below 10 grand and it actually went up. And then the volatility flashes start to take a hold. Volatilities went to 0, direction down. Volatility went to 0 here in 2022. Volatility went up. Volatility went to 0. Do you think this one's going up? Do you think this one's going down? I'm going to play the simple game of seeing someone absolutely smash FTT coin with regards to 0 volatility flashes. And I'm willing to say that it's going down. Okay, now that's just a 90-day. If I'm wrong, obviously it could be a wrong move of 4 to 5 times the price of the asset back up into like 100, 150 grand, 180 grand, 200 grand. Okay, for me, I see 0 flashes in volatility. I know to start taking the other side of the trend. All right, now what would help back that? RO to the downside. We had these reverse wave tendies here. If it holds above here, sure, man. Then those 0 volatility flashes can put in a little drive of a bull divish, hidden bull divish, whatever the fuck wants to form here, and then carry on pushing up. But if this carries on pushing down and those volatility flashes switch off on the next print in 2 months and 4 days, I know tickets for Bitcoin, man. Start looking for new lower lows down here, 28 grand, 32 grand. Okay, that's the deciding line on Bitcoin, is this one here. They're both sort of matching up. 60, just call it $61,000. You fail $61,000 and you hold below there in the next 2 months and 4 days, Bitcoin dumps. Okay, 45-day. Here we've got a little bit of volatility, and this is another thing. The 45-day, this is also on the all-time index. Okay, very rare events, and these are sort of halfway mean reversion points. Very rare events, but the 45-day is also saying the same thing. Okay, with regards to 0 flash and volatility. We had it here a little bit later than the 90-day, as that there was a continuation signal down. Okay, here, same with that other 90-day, flashed in this 18 to 16 grand region. Volatility took hold and wanted to push it back up. ETF news. Funny how you can manipulate price with news. All right, here, now we're getting thin tail, left shoulder, the peak and the trough in the bell curve. There it's technically at a peak and it's not in a trough. It's maxed out. So that thing needs to start contracting and you'll get good direction off of what's happening there. Right shoulder also pretty much at 0. The fat tail event pretty much at 0. So this is a very big point. And here's an interesting observation. Our volatility at the current, for the next whatever it is, 19 days and 11 days, is currently telling me we're in a sneaky dump mode. Okay, even though we have hidden bull div here, cool story, bro. The trading view bots are getting triggered here. We saw that in last week's price action. Absolutely stupid, at least for me to trade. I could just see someone deployed $1 billion fucking algo, and they just stretching everyone's indicators out that are like below a look back of 15. They're just stretching everyone out. They just want your liquidity, man. So for me, after last week's price action, I say people are looking for liquidity. It's a liquidity hunt, and it's big bags that are literally painting charts. Okay. DLP also stuck in a dodgy range here. ALR starting to lose its returns to the upside. So technically, the next print in 19 days, 11 hours is down, and this trend isn't over yet on this little tool we have here in the middle, at the bottom, in the middle at the very bottom. That thing, you kind of want it to stop flashing red, and then you can bet on some good continuation to the downside. Okay, so that's the quarterly, I think it is, or whatever it is, and the 45 day. Let's go look into the 21 day. 21 day will start to match up with our 5-day Laplace distribution cone. Okay, so this is on Poloniex now, so a little bit more real numbers. Our USDT pair. Poloniex's line in the sand is 66, just call it 300. Start failing 66, 300. You're coming back down into the other side here at 55. By the time it gets there, just call it 56. Okay? 50, so it's pretty much 10 grand range. 66, 200 to 56, 200, I suppose. Hey? So that's a 10 grand range. All right? What's our volatility saying? Volatility is contracting. Whilst positively correlated, technically means down, okay? But it's losing its correlation. It's still above 50%, so I do have a little bit higher probability that it's going to more than likely want to try and push below. If I was bullish, at least on the 21 day, I would like a nice little pullback here into $66,200 and try bounce off of there. To me, that would make solid sense. Okay, here we have the 14-day. 14-day RO is starting to cross over. It's in a positive drift, which is the reason why this thing hasn't shat the bed. But it's below, just call it 50% worth of positive drift. So it's going to start getting very weak, which is going to allow this RO to start playing through, this DLP to start playing through. And as these start to conform with that, this will trigger it into negative drift, and there's your mean sitting here at 62, about 300 by the time it gets there. Its break range to the downside is 65, 560. Okay, fail those orange lines back into these orange lines. That's about 65, 350 to 66. Let's call it 60,200. Sorry. Okay, 7-day, this cone hasn't really been doing as much justice as it should. Down here, it was doing very good justice. Very, very good justice. As you can see, we know the rules. Blues, fail the pink, we go to the next blue, fail the blue, go to that blue, come fail that blue, get above that, bullshit. Outside of the cone, try to push for that blue, failed it, came, touch that blue, and she's off to the races. Now, we haven't been getting some nice price action around these colors. Okay, if it was as bullish as I would think crypto Twitter is making it out to be, we should be at a 90 grand Bitcoin already. Simply put. Okay, so 7-day bottom side range here is about, it's in that low 60K region, so 61,700. Okay, this is becoming a range in a sense. But let's not focus on this 7-day cone as much as I'd put more weighting on the 5-day Laplace distribution cone up at these levels. Okay. If it was bullish, why aren't we here already? Okay? Like, this needs to be a God mode dildo to get you to 92K. If it does get above this white line and does get above 92K, there's your hopium, 126. Okay? More than likely a scalp. Well, a long-term short to the downside. 7-day, let's get some direction here, is in 50-50. We've had a hidden bear div, then we have a regular bear div trying to play through. Let's throw up on those reverse wave tendies. Let's see where those are. Okay, reverse wave tendies, that one's a little bit low. This one will be a bit higher. All right, it's going to get its continuation, so super zoom here. That mean is this orange line here on the 7-day. Okay, 66,360. Just call it $66,350. So that will be matching up with our 14-day. Okay, you failed there. Continuation to the downside. Yeah, this thing is in pump and dump mode at the same time, but it's technically losing trend on this, on just a small pullback with regards to these seriously big candles to the upside. Okay, 5-day. This is the cone that's going to tell the story. I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat this, at least 5-day analysis. Bitcoin is at a very pivotal time right now. Either she starts trying to break out of whatever structure people are drawing here. I see some megaphones. I see some guys drawing TA lines from here to here, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter, dude. Long story short, your line in the sand for the next 4 days, which could lead to the next 19 days, is right here. At least on Poloniex, or plus minus $20 on any other USDT pair that you're trading, exchange that you're trading on. Its line in the sand is here, 66,708. Okay, this one's also matching up. This one's below it. All right, as long as this one on the top right here, let me just make that big. As long as this candlestick closes below, what's that one? 67, just call it 67,500. As long as that candlestick closes below 67,500, it will allow it to technically push through to the downside here. It's 66,750. All right, Bitcoin's range on the higher term time frames is between here, 66,750 to 67,500. So a $950 range that people cannot see, that they're trying to make insane predictions off of. All right? That's the line in the sand. If it can get above this pink line, shit carries on to the upside. If it gets below this pink line here on the left, shit carries on to the downside. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple. There's no reason not to. Let's see if these lower term time frames to the daily and maybe 24-hour want to try push it to this downside or to that upside. Okay, contracting was positively correlated, not really catching a trend here. It is a small candle, no trend here as of yet. Okay, zone of liquidity building here, 66,262. Bear div, RO down, DLP down, hit an outlier. The trading view guys with their bots, they're a little bit slow here. They're trying to hold it through. ALR down. Okay, there's a few more things saying down. Let me just get some direction on volatility here. Okay, that one doesn't have 45-day. It's technically in sneaky dump. That's technically in negative drift, so that's down. That's technically in positive drift. We have these indicators here. 14 days is going to be a big tell. Any movements above those 5-day cones, 50-50 would make sense. We're stuck in between these 5-day ranges. That's negative drift. Okay, what's that? That's technically on the 3-day negative drift. All right, losing correlation though, as it's coming and trying to hit these orange lines. Losing correlation. 3-day, that's a bear div. RO trying to cross down. ALR has hit its second standard deviation, which will confirm here, maybe a bounce. Okay, here, let's turn that off. See a little bit of bull div happening, and that be coming from that 3-day bounce. Let's put that on. The 3-day bounce here, which is matching up on the 24-hour, the 3-day reverse wave turn. Technically stuck in negative drift. What's the next best move for volatility? Is for it to expand, and it's very rare that whilst volatility is expanding, these PCs don't try turn down. It's just mathematical. As it starts going back through its means, it's going to turn back down and trigger a dump mode. All right. So even if this thing does pull back into whatever it was, that 66,500, 67,500 region, it's going to have to fight the 24-hour through that. As it's going up, it's pumping itself into a dump. And if it fails this 5-day Laplace distribution line here, whilst the 24-hour has triggered, is pumping itself and triggering dump mode, well, then we know where it's going to be triggering dump mode. Furthermore, bear divs, cool story, bro. I would look for a nice, maybe little touchdown here. It's 66,324 on the 3-day. Here on the 24-hour, 66,324, 66,324. Need to remember that one. We're at a mean, 66,324. Not much here. Maybe on the next 24-hour print, I would expect a touch somewhere down here. There is a hidden bull div forming. Hidden bull div forming is only going to have the right to play through and get the legs if you hold above 66,982, and the next candle prints higher than 67,676. All right, negative drift. Shit's looking for a trend under negative drift initially tells me that it can pump itself into a dump. Okay, here contracting, positively correlated. That's negative drift. RO is saying technically a buy. There's a new weekly printed here. Could be worth it. It's going to take a lot of work. This thing has to retrace back up into here. It's 67,307 for you to be safe. And if it does, you got to go target 67,904, which is today's new daily VRE. All right. There is maybe a scalp to the upside that's trying to happen here, which will trigger that 24-hour into a dump mode. All right. If it doesn't hold above those pink lines on the 5-day. Contracting was positively correlated here on the 6-hour. Sort of trying to negate that thing. Okay. Any holding above here for the next 12 hours, 24 hours at 66,966 on Binance. Look for another push up into here at 67,909. So we've already validated those targets in the beginning of this video, on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, here's the 3-hour. 3 hours looking a little bit sideways. The RO is trying to turn down, but I think the break to the downside will come on these lower time frames here at 66,970, and we already gave those targets. Right, this one's starting to validate here. This is a -2 support level on the daily. Close below here, 66,979. You initially looking for a push here. It's 66,321. If it gets out of hand, I would be looking at about a 65,946 long. So if this comes in my trading session, you'll see me actively trying to trade here, actively trying to long here, actively trying to long here, actively trying to long here. But that's only for an hour or 2 hours worth of trading in the direction of my bias. 90-minute, starting to get a little bit crushed here. 90 minutes moving into dump mode. All right, there's a lot of work happening here at this new weekly VRE. Okay, well, it's not so new anymore. It's Tuesday or something. All right, new weekly VRE. Big continuation point. Problem is we have an untouched daily over here. All right, and I usually know that that's its safe place. That's where it wants to be. Okay, so if it fails here today at 69,972 and comes down into these regions here at 65 odd, I do know I should be looking for a scalp back up tomorrow or the next day to 67,908. Okay, here 45-minute compound, I don't know, it's actually pushed itself into negative drift on the upside. Not looking super strong right now. Maybe she does want to try and push for the second part here. Might be slow today. I'm guessing it's going to be slow, because if it wasn't, we would have already been pushing up out of here quick enough. As you can see, the dildos are quite big. Okay, contracting, negative decorrelated, losing trend. Okay, this one's a little bit dirty on the 45-minute. Here's our 15-minute. There's your break of range. Okay, Bitcoin clears 67 on Binance, 67,058, holds above there. We initially look for 67,524, and then back up into the daily. All right, you start failing below here. You technically look for the outside of the cone, 66,695 dollars. Okay, start failing here, which I already said. So just call it 67 to 66,600. Oh, fuck, sorry. 66,700 to 66,600. Start failing that region, we're down here. All right, 66,313. 65,926. Okay. Hold above this guy. Shit can get quite exciting for the day. There's a nice mean reversion play to be had, which is about nearly $1,000 move right now. Okay, let's go have a look at this thing. Don't know why that thing would want to pop up now. You have never popped up. 24-hour. Come on, trading view. Useless piece of shit, trading view. Anyway, Would be nice to have a look at this US dominance. I do not think it's going to load. But yeah, if you guys would like access to these trading tools that I use, that I can roughly make 0.5% on per day per 100 trades. I'm not happy with that. I would like 1% per day, as that's what I've been praying for, and that's what I've been working the last fucking 8 years for. But yeah, that will come with skill. That will come with skill, a little bit more skill, scalping, a little bit more patience on the time frames. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's my mental battle with regards to a winning strategy that I want to squeeze a little bit more out of. Okay, it's fighting all the shit you've learned versus the PTSD. Right, we don't want to get on the wrong side of that PTSD. Okay, here's the 15-minute trying for its push. You close above here. Thank you very much. You start pushing back up to the upside. Okay, the easier plays are when we're at the yellows. Okay, so yes, we're looking for that. And if it does start getting up here, we got to look at that 24-hour to be like, are you pumping yourself into a dump? Because if you are, the 3-day, the 5-day, the 7-day, the 14-day sideways, all those high time frames say, sorry, Kazi, downside. All right, anyway, if you'd like access to these tools, Discord link below. It's called Alpha Trading Tools. I have a private Discord there where, I don't know, it's quite quiet at the moment, but I don't put it past anyone. But yeah, I talk to my friends in there. We chat shit. Some of them will post a coin or two. Someone posted Doge the other day. Fucking good one. Yeah, man. There's that. And I do live trading sessions pretty much every day. It's going to be stagnated because let's say I started trading at 12 o'clock and they banned me at 2 o'clock. I have to wait 24 hours and then I'll start trading at 2 o'clock again and I get banned at 4 o'clock. I'll wait 24 hours and I'll start trading at that. So it'll be a bit stagnated throughout the week. But that's just how I have to trade. I don't gamble. I scalp Bitcoin professionally. All right. Some guys can laugh at me and some guys can absolutely destroy my returns. But I know I take zero risk. The only risk I take is if my internet cuts out and I got a Starlink. I just got a Starlink the other day and I can't put 1,000 trades in a day on it, which would be fucking beautiful. But yeah, anyway. So I have no risk to myself. I obviously need to trade with zero trading fees, as that's where my edge is sitting. Anything above the 15-minute for me is investing. I just know this coin enough that I don't trust it, to be brutally honest. So yeah, much power. Stay fucking well. If you found this information helpful, please do like and subscribe. This is the African Crypto Warlord out. Have a good day.